Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. This is the Tusk Talk with Ty post-game live show. This was a nice, little English, in the wrists of everyone shooting tonight. Everybody getting double. You get double-digit scoring. You get double-digit scoring. You get double-digit scoring. It was fantastic. Fantastic. Knocking them down. I was trying to track every single offensive possession by Arkansas. Kept up with most of it until the final 2 minutes. So I don't know what they did because I'm sitting here trying to get everything ready for the live, but they ended their first 10 possessions scoring again one way or another, whether it was shots at the free throw line by Brazil to start things off. They came away with 9 out of 10 scoring on the first 10 possessions one way or another. That's fantastic. I don't care who you're playing. And keep in mind, it is a neutral floor, but the fans are not neutral, right? But it is nice to know that you can travel from Bud and you can shots can still fall for you. That is not a place they've had success in frequently. I didn't realize. I thought I heard him say Arkansas was 14-10. Is that right? 14-10 inside that building. That's kind of nuts. Hey, do me a favor. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you're new here, I do appreciate everyone. I appreciate all the like and shares across Twitter and wherever. Appreciate you guys. Very much one of these games where, and they brought it up on the broadcast, that this could be one of those games where Arkansas just kind of, they get a decent little lead and they take a few possessions off. We've seen them do that time and time again. And no matter who the opponent is, not that they've had very many huge leads, but when they have had them, they've taken a few possessions off. You can just kind of see it. It's not a week in and week out, game in and game out problem for Arkansas. But I mean, everyone does it. Everyone takes some time off in a game. Everyone, wants to ride the bench for a little bit if they're exhausted and they feel like they just want to ease up a little bit, right? We're all guilty of that. If you've ever played whatever, team sports, whatever. Man, I sure would. You know what? I'm a little apathetic right now. Not feeling it. We've got a huge lead. Let's clown around. Let's just kind of throw up some stupid alley-oops. Let's not take the game seriously. And Arkansas didn't do that. They didn't do that. And they haven't, again, they haven't done it, again, not that they've had a ton of big leads, but, when they've had them for the most part. Now, have they struggled to build on some of those leads? Yeah. Yeah, they absolutely have. Yeah. Well-balanced, 6 guys in double digits. I'm telling you, and I'm putting it on you guys. I'm putting it on you. Who do you think gets the gold chain? Who gets the gold chain? Right now it is obviously Boogie at 52%, Brazil at 22%, Wagner at 9%, Jonas Haydu, despite looking a little, lumbering and a little slow at times, kind of got blown by a couple times, still ended up playing a pretty good game, right? But he's at 17%. Boogie Down Productions says Unbiased Prim. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. That's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, 501-244-3667. Free estimates. They got your back. Again, that is DSO, baby. Link is provided for you down below. Along with Patreon. November was every month we just keep getting better and better. The Patreon chat going wild. We had to officially open because Patreon chat has been just flowing and overflowing. We had to officially, I should say, reopen, even though it's a new channel, but I had to delete the old channel, the Patreon Discord channor or page, whatever you want to call it. When you open up Discord, And then you got all those options on the left side of your screen. Patreon chat was at the top, and then we deleted it, but we left discussions, portal targets, portal commits, basketball discussion. It's all there. So it was overflowing, and I was like, and myself and the mods were talking the last several days, like we have got to figure out, we can either reopen the Patreon chat or we just limit who can chat in the discussion, in the football discussion page. So I said, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to limit. Let's just reopen the Patreon, the OG, the very first of them all when we started doing Patreon. Let's just make a new one. And that's what we did. So, yeah, now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total different places to go to or to look at. Would you just look at it? Just look at it. 9 different places you can check out in Patreon. So we did restart our EA College Football League, by the way. You got to be a Patreon member to join. You can join at any time. I think we've got like maybe 10 teams. That's saying something considering how booty cheeks EA College Football 2.5. Would you just look at it, Mac? Would you just look at it? But considering how booty cheeks that game was, yeah, I'm a hater. I don't like EA College Football 2.5. I'll just say it. I don't like it. It's not. It's too controlled. It feels like a product that, you know, they just don't want you to do anything with your roster. You can't edit already existing players. You can't do shit. Drives me crazy. But we did start up a new Patreon league. That is fun when we do that. You know, recruiting's not too bad. I'd give that game a solid 5.5, man, if I'm being real. EA College Football 2.5 is just such a letdown. We have predictions. Oklahoma State at OU, although I think that one has already tipped off. No, it's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. So if you haven't already, go in and put your prediction in, huh? Did you guys see Texas Tech going to bench their starting quarterback? I say bench. He's got surgery, so he's going to miss the game. He is going to miss the game. Wagner hit a big shot, looked more consistent. I mean, again, I don't care who you play. Shot selection still matters. And, yes, the defender can alter your looks, right? If you get a long, lengthy guard, you know, these guys don't have a whole lot of length. They don't have a whole lot of size. I mean, they were blocked They were blocked 9 times according to ESPN. I think that's right. I think I counted 9. Maybe 8 or 9, but not a lot of length. But then offensively, like, yeah, again, someone who's bigger, longer, more athletic, like what you're about to face with in the SEC, that's going to change your shot selection. It's going to alter your looks on the floor. How competent are they in running the zone, or if they're going to do a little full court press, which we saw UCA try to do. They were just, I mean, you know, they just don't have the athletes. I did see some nice moves, right cut to the rim by UCA. I mean, and again, there is still. I don't know what to make of the rim defense by Arkansas. I don't think it's bad, but sometimes it's like these guys are cutting a little too easy. You know, sometimes a team like UCA, and it was more than just a couple of possessions. It felt like. Defensively, some open looks. Outside, they took a lot of shots. UCA did. Arkansas, a little bit more selective. And I got to tell you, offensively, I like the difference in what I'm seeing and what we've noticed here the last several games. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I am. There is plenty here to be like, okay, all right, we're heading in the right direction here. I am curious to see what of course, they were also without one of their important players. Hang on just a second. These stupid, I'm going to time these ads out. They don't let you go back and edit the ads out, or will they? Oh, they will. Hold on. Oh, they do let you. Okay, here we go. We're going to switch it. There you go. No more ads. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. I pick when the ads are going to show up, and that's usually when we're done. Kerper says, woo pig. That's right. Hit that like button, says Joe Cool. Yeah, and please feel free to comment, ask any questions, do what you got to do. I missed most of the game. How'd Nelly do? Yeah, we're about to get into that. Kind of like starting off with an overall emphasis on what some of the stuff that I liked. Again, doing the possession by possession, Arkansas scored 9 out of their first 10 possessions if I logged that correctly. Their fourth possession, they had a turnover. And then you saw like Fland, he misses a 3-point shot. Brazil falls up the rebound, the offensive board, and gets 2 points. And then you turn around the next possession, 3-pointer by DJ Wagner. The next possession, Jonas Adu gets an easy 2 points at the rim. Brazil with 2 points at the rim. Adu with 2 points at the rim. That's now 8th and 9th possession. Then 10th possession, Boogie with the steal and finished for 2 at the rim. Played so much better. And again, size matters. UCA doesn't have it. They don't have the athletes. I don't know that I don't know if you're not going to play anyone in the SEC that's this bad. Let's be real. You're not. And UCA looks to me like a team that might get to, I don't know, maybe they can get to 12 wins on the year. They're not, and they were down. They were a little banged up as well. I mean, we got to be fair. I would say their worst 10-play run, if I could find it, it would have been their next 10 attempts after their first 10. So, they come out of commercial break, right out the gate, turnover shortly after Big Z block. So then your 12th possession, Brazil misses 3. 13th possession, Wagner misses 3. Finally, you hit a couple back-to-backs, 5 points, Nelly Davis, and then Fland for 2. And then Wagner misses. Fland, who was, by the way, fouled going to the rim, no whistle, he missed the shot, obviously. Nelly Davis misses a 3, and then Nelly for 3. So there's not really, looking at their possessions, there's not a period of time. There's not even 3 straight possessions where they didn't come away with something. The closest was, I take that back. Their 23rd possession, I think. You had a turnover by Wagner. Nelly Davis misses a 3-point shot, and then a turnover by Nelly Davis. And then after that, you score on the next 4 possessions. I mean, they just flat out dominated. I really thought for a minute this was going to be like 100 to 50 or 100 to maybe 60 kind of game. The spread was, what was it, 20? Someone help me out. 27-point spread or something? So, yeah. Arkansas gets a nice one here, 82-57. Man, there's just not really many bad things you could say about a blowout like that. I don't care who the hell you play. I don't care who you play. Ty, how Big Z do? Mello, did you not get a chance to watch the game, my guy? Did you not get a chance to watch it? He didn't get a ton of minutes. He ended up with 15 minutes tonight. Overall shooting was not good. I'll just say that. He was 1 in the plus-minus, if we're painting a picture here. He did get some boards. No offensive rebounds, but he got 6 boards, 2 assists. Turned the ball over just once. He did have 2 blocks, so not like a complete waste when you're getting 6 rebounds. Just 1 turnover and a couple of blocks and a couple of assists. That's not, now if that was his numbers based on like 25 minutes, then yeah, wait a minute, no points? Come on, man. 0 for 3 outside, or at that point with more minutes, obviously he's probably going to take another shot. So maybe he's 0 for 4, 0 for 5, 1 for 5, something. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Hey, listen, copy. There's a little funny arrow somewhere on your screen. Copy and paste. Send it out. No one, listen, I get it. It's UCA, middle of the day. No one gives a shit about this game. Let's be real. You guys know, if anything, I am at least authentic. We want to talk about the portal. That's all anyone wants to talk about. But help the stream out. Get a share out there. Let your friends and family know. Hey, this guy, he works hard. Been putting in a lot of minutes with the portal, trying to keep up with people, trying to reach out, doing my thing. Hey, looking solid, excited for the rest of the season, says Camo. Now that feels like a troll comment. I like what Carter Knox looked at tonight. Yeah, it's good to see him get some productive minutes. It's good. It's really good. Right now, who should get the gold chain? Boogie sitting at 65%. Wow, that lead is growing. Brazil Jonas Adu at 14. He's holding second place. I'm surprised Brazil's not getting a little bit more love right now. I'm not saying he should get the chain. I just kind of figured he'd be at like 30%, 20%. I know we want to look at the stat sheet, but man, sometimes, the effort on the floor, had the most turnovers of anybody on the floor. That automatically, I'm not going to give him the chain. I'll just tell you right now, he's not going to get the chain. But 5 blocks with 11 points, I mean, he's in the running. At the very least, he's 4 of 6. He only takes 1 shot outside, 3 of 4 at the line. Yeah. All right. We're cooking here. We're cooking. I bet Thero to get over 16 points, he didn't play. Yeah, he's still fighting off. I guess he had a real bad flu. I said he walked in there with a mask. Patrick said, "You know what? I gave Brazil the thumbs up." There you go. Appreciate all the retweets, you guys. Thank you. I know everyone's talking about the portal, and there is a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about the portal, and you know how that means. That means we're probably going to talk a little bit more about the portal than I lead on. But some of these, so far none of these commitments are surprising. We've kind of nailed it in Patreon chat. Eventually, you just got to pay attention to what's going on in there. And again, we've split up the discussion page and the Patreon page. So remember, in the discussion page, we're only talking about the relevant information pertaining to football, like recruiting, transfer portal stuff, maybe if there's something with the coaches, because don't forget, this is also that time of year when coaches take new jobs or they're getting looked at. So that's relevant to that page. I get it. Forever, it was like our main backup page behind main chat. So everyone just kind of goes there to leave whatever comments. I did it too. That's fine. But now we got that Patreon chat back up, the main chat. Yeah. In the first half, Arkansas, John L. Davis is looking decent, 6 points. But he's 50% outside. Boogie Fland had 13 points, 6 of his first 8, 1 of 2 outside. Plus minus, he's at the 12 spot where John L. was at Nelly, was at the 14. But he did have 13 points. He led the Razorbacks in scoring. Trevin Brazil, 6 points. And then Jonas Adu with 10 points. He was 5 for 5. We know where he's getting those points at. He's not exactly going to stretch the floor. But he's 5 for 5, man. And not only that, but he had a couple of boards, 0 turnovers, 2 blocks. So, yeah. DJ Wagner only had 3 points in the first half. 3 points. He was 1 of 4. Got off to kind of a slow start. He did have a couple turnovers, but because he took over the point guard role, he ended up with 5 assists in the first half. Again, these are just first half numbers. Big Z did not get a lot of minutes. He got 5 minutes on the floor. Billy Richmond had 7 minutes. At least Z there got some, again, started off with the rebounds. He had an assist, -2 in the plus minus. I only bring that up because I get people ask me about the plus minus stuff. I to me, it's the most just whatever stat ever. Shouldn't say ever. Bench points, 8 in the first half, 24 points in the paint in a single half, 24 points. That's pretty good. 6 points off turnovers, 6 second chance points, 10 fast break points, 7 of 8 on layups. That's a good number. 2 of 2 on dunks. They had 30 possessions, and they scored at 66% in the first half, nearly 67%. It's nice to be able to score and close. Let's see. It's nice to be able to score close to the rim, and it isn't even our 7-footer. Again, it's not going to be that easy, right? Once we get into that SEC play, because now you're going to be dealing with a lot more size and power and, a little bit better boxing out by the opponent and just having that athleticism there and the reach. It's going to be tough. Arkansas just flat out dominated UCA in the first half, held them to just 2 bench points. Well, they were thin. They were thin also, but 2 bench points, but 8 points in the bench, just 2 points off turnovers, 6 second chance points, 0 fast break points. They were 3 of 7 on layups. And they even had 2 more possessions in Arkansas. They had 32 total possessions in the first half. Brazil's a stand-up dude. Good guy. TB has another really good game, but Boogie is the pretty clear option in my opinion. Yeah, so before we get into the gold chain, we're going to do it a little bit quicker on this one. I don't think it's any secret who it's going to. It's come on. It's the Boogie Fland show. Just give him the chain. Just give him the post-game gold chain. That's just all there is to it. We're going to give it to him easily. Come on. Not easily, but had one of those games where he's playing both ends of the floor. I didn't feel like he got blown off the ball at any point defensively. He is just such a good two-way player. I have no doubt that in the SEC he's going to get matched up with someone who might be able to kind of slow him down. We've seen him slow down a little bit this year, but for the most part, he could take games over, and he is such a problem for defenders. And then on the other side of that, he's also a really good defender. As soon as the lights turned back on, it was over. Literally, right? Did they have light issues again, Trip? I don't think they did. How'd that go? How were the lights? Oh, man. Rename it the Boogie Down chain. It might have to be the Boogie Down chain. He's going to get so many of these, and we knew that. We talked about it all off season. He's just such a baller, and that's just what he is. Appreciate the super chat, Trip. Thank you. They worked this time, he says. You love it. So Arkansas gets they get off to a really nice start against UCA. It doesn't really ever slow down. So going to the full thing here, 82-57. What does UCA do? 18-54. They're not a very good offensive scoring team. I think they're like 40% on the year or something. They were 33% just from the field. 7 of 28. That's a lot of shots outside. Just 25% there. They do get to the free throw line quite a bit. I'm going to be real. This was a very well officiated game, and I'm not just saying that because it was a blowout. But usually blowouts are, because you're not – I don't know what it is. I don't know if you're just playing a level of disciplined ball defensively. But they, for the most part, just 13 fouls on Arkansas and just 9 on UCA. There were a couple of times where I'm like, come on, Boogie's driving to the lane. That's clearly some contact that, affected the shot. Should have been a shooting foul and, whatever. And UCA got the rebound. But at that point, it was already like a 15-point lead. And when you get these big stretches, sometimes the whistles are swallowed. And they let them play a little bit. But I didn't even feel like it was an overly physical game. It felt like a game of finesse. I thought Arkansas would have even more fast break points. I thought they would have even more, and even more layups, although they had a lot. So they go 14 of 18 at the line. That's actually really good, 77%. They have, again, just 8 points off the bench. Now, they did play quite a few guys, but, they only one of them got into the double digits according to ESPN. That was Cole McCormick. Pretty impressed with Lane Taylor. Shout out to Lane Taylor, who's right down the road. He's from right down the road from me. He's from Farmington. It's so cool to see a Farmington Cardinal. I don't know. It's like seeing a kid from Greenland out there, right? Or a kid from West Fork. One of these surrounding kind of smaller towns around Fayetteville. It's cool to see that. So it's really neat to see him out there playing his ass off. I thought he played a really good game. 5 of 13, 3 of 8 outside. He had 13 points, just 2 turnovers. He also had 3 assists. He led UCA in assists. Lane Taylor looked the part. I mean, he looked like a guy who, again, he's a sub 6 foot guy, I'm pretty sure. He's either right at 6 foot or he's, okay, ESPN says he's 5'11". If he were like a little taller and give him a couple of years, I could maybe see one of these other, mid-majors, like a better mid-major come along and swoop him up. He looks like one of those kind of guys. Who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, maybe next year he'll get he'll hop into the portal. Not that you want him to. I do have some UCA folks that do watch what I do. Of course, you'd want him to stick it out at UCA. But I was very impressed with him. Cato, very clean to the rim. He had 15 points, a couple of boards. He was 0 for 5 outside. Not really good there. 4 of 11 overall shooting. Very clean to the rim and beat some guys off the dribble. So, again, they have some pieces here, but they just look to me like a team that's going to struggle to get to double-digit wins. They're just not they're just, year one, new coach. They're getting it all figured out. They do have just 9 turnovers, 22 boards, 8 assists, so they're -1 in the assist-to-turnover ratio. They did have 6 steals and 1 block. Somehow they got a block in there. They snuck it in there. They snuck it in. Switching it over to Arkansas. We already know who got the gold chain, even though he didn't score 25, 30 points, but he was effective. This is a guy that nearly had a double-double. Then we need to talk about why Boogie Fland, not just because of the most obvious thing, being the leading scorer, no matter the team or whatever. That doesn't matter. That's not everything. He has 5 boards, 5 steals, 9 assists. This guy almost had a double-double with points and assists. You don't see that very often. And, and you love the 5 boards too, the 5 steals, just 1 turnover and 2 fouls. Boogie got 34 minutes. He's also 7 of 11 shooting and 50% outside, 2 of 4. Like, Boogie was just feeling it, man. And again, I this was one of those moments where you're like, oh, man, he's going to go off. This dude's going to have 25, 30 points. And then he's moving the ball around. Did you see the ball movement tonight, by the way? Wow. Why are we not talking more about that? And we're seeing that more and more. And I think that's a sign that these guys are starting to get on the same page. I say that like as if they didn't come from behind to beat Miami, or the same thing against Michigan on a neutral floor in New York at Madison Square Garden. It's almost as if they've been figuring it out. And we're seeing more ball movement. You remember how Musselman would talk about that? He counts the passes, or he's got someone on his staff counting the passes. Way more ball movement. And it led to easy cuts right to the rim, wide open shots outside, kickouts, plenty of assists down around the rim, fewer silly turnovers. Like, good passing followed up with good shot selection in the hands of guys that can drown or nothing but net, can swish, can no rim, just right in there, baby. Just putting a little English on it. You get the ball in their hands because there's so much ball movement. You're finding that guy on the floor no matter where he's at. They're knocking down little 12, 13 footers. They're hitting their threes, easy layups. I mean, it's all, when you move the ball, it opens up the offense if you're not coming in out of transition. When you're coming out of transition, we know Arkansas likes to kick up the tempo, and they want to score quick, get to the rim. They want to cut. They don't want to worry about having to set up, off-ball balls or outside ball screens. They just want to cut to the rim and get there. But they're showing that, no, we can slow it down and move the ball whether you're in man or zone. That's really effective against man if they don't have the caliber of talent. And by the way, you're going to play SEC schools that do not have your caliber of talent. In fact, I would argue, I think about 70% of the league does not have your caliber of talent, in my opinion. Again, we got to bring Blake Lovell on to talk about that. But it's crazy what can happen if everyone's on the same page, everyone's getting healthy, and you were down one of your best players. Now, it's not as if they beat – okay, they didn't beat a great opponent like this, right? And I get it. But sometimes, like ball movement, that happens again. You should be able to do that against anybody. Like just moving the ball around, kickouts, finding the underneaths, the cuts to the rim. And again, you don't go fast pace up and down the floor the whole game. You know, not all your points are going to come out of transition. You know, you're going to have to figure it out, right? When things slow down and you're trying to probe the zone. And you do that by good amount of passing, finding the weak spot in that zone or whatever it is they're trying to do, whether they're trying to, you know, run the 2-3, whatever. You're trying to find the chink in the armor, and you do that with ball movement and getting the ball in the hands of your shooters, the guys who can make those high percentage shots. And that's what they did tonight. Keep this up, and thankfully you've got some more. Really, let's be real. You should be riding a 6-game win streak going into SEC play. You should. You don't want to overlook anybody, though. You got NC-A&T on, so we get a little break here. We get 7 days off to get ready, and then you get 9 days for Christmas break till you got to play Oakland in Fayetteville. So both those games are in Fayetteville. I liked what I saw tonight, even with the stuff that doesn't matter who the opponent is, and ball movement is one of those. But Arkansas, what did they do tonight? 60%. 60%. I mean, they're shooting 50% on the year, or 51%. They were 33 of 55, 9 of 20. That's shot selection. That's clean, crisp shot selection, 45% outside. Imagine if you're walking into SEC play and you're shooting north of 35% on the year so far through non-con. You got to feel pretty good about your outside presence, all of it, right? All of it, the movement to finding the clean shot, the shot selection. It makes you feel a little bit better based on what you see, not just the numbers, not just the analytics, but based on what we're seeing. 45%, you're going to live with that, buddy. You're going to live with that. Even if it was just 20 shots. 7 of 9 at the free throw line, so that's almost 77.8%. You got 18 points off your bench. Boogie Fland, again, just what a game, 16 points. Trevon Brazile, A for effort, man. 7 boards, he had an assist, 5 blocks, dude. You know, the more I think about it, maybe he does deserve runner-up. You think about that. The 3 turnovers, you know, leading the no matter the team, leading in turnovers, but you only had 12. 23 assists. Again, that comes from ball movement and shot selection. 23 assists. That is a season high, if I'm not mistaken. 23 assists to just 12 turnovers. Want those to come down, but you're, again, hey, baby, you're going to live with that. 9 blocks, 5 steals tonight. 7 offensive boards. The reason why that number's low and someone's going to complain about it is because you were making everything. You shot 60%. You're not going to have a lot of offensive boards. You didn't have a lot of turnovers. You didn't have a lot of, you didn't give up a ton of steals tonight. Gave up 6. They had 1 more than you, but whatever. Loved it. I loved what I saw. Louisville, Kentucky is close. Yeah. Brandon Hall says, we landed top JUCO DB. They sure did. Arkansas got. Now, for everyone I had several people, I say several, it was like 2 people, DM me about why I didn't have him added. Why I didn't have him added on the portal target list, because he's JUCO. I don't put JUCO people on the target list. That's JUCO. I treat that like just recruiting, like a regular, like the same as high school, even though I get it, it's not high school. To me, it's just that traditional, that way of thinking. Like that's what JUCO's always been. It's always been meshed in with just your overall recruiting class. To me, that's different than what we're doing with the transfer portal. So that's why he was never added. But yeah, we've kind of known about his commitment. Again, thanks to Patreon for a while, for the last at least several days. Arkansas football is a current farm team for Ole Miss, and it makes me sick, says Tusky 6693. It makes you wonder, with the volume of players that are going to Ole Miss, it makes you wonder if why? What does that not perk somebody's ears up, with the NCAA? That is weird that it's that amount of players from one school going to the other, going to their rival. especially after someone like Patrick Kudus who said, I hate Ole Miss, whatever. I guess he was quoted as saying that somewhere. I don't know if that was a interview he did with one of these writers. I have no idea, but that's where what I've read is he said that he didn't like Ole Miss. Pardon me if I'm incorrect. I don't mean to misquote anybody. It is strange to me that so many players now. How much of it is these are just friends? How much of it is they all know each other and they're in a group chat? Okay, that's one thing. I do still think that should perk up the ears of the NCAA. Getting 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 is like, oh, well, all right, over a course of 2 years. What are we up to now? Was that 5 players in 2 years going to the same damn school? Even if it's 4, like that's still weird. And it makes you wish that like there needs to be a rule in place where you can't if you take a red shirt, and I love this comment someone made in Discord, or at least it's enough to make me think about it. If you take a red shirt, then you can't transfer within the SEC. You can't transfer within the SEC. You can go somewhere else. That ought to be an SEC rule. And I don't know why that's not against the law. You could make up, you literally, all these rules are made up to begin with, from whether it's the NCAA as an institution or the SEC. They're all made up rules. I mean, yeah, if you transfer you can't do that. You took a red shirt, Patrick Kudus. You can't go to Ole Miss. Braxton, you took a red shirt. You can't. You can't go there. You can go to Oklahoma State, like Green did last year. You can do that, but you can't go to the SEC. It's enough for me to wonder what the hell. Why are they having I get transferring, okay? 6-6, and then you think you're worth maybe a lot more than you think you are. Pittman talked about that. I don't know, man. I don't know. This guy got that guy's number. That guy for this guy's number. Really easy for them to do. Sure. But again, we're not talking about just a couple of guys. We're talking 4 maybe 4, could end up with 5 players in 2 years. That's at least enough that I think if I'm the NCAA, that has to be worth looking into. We know they won't. Even if there's nothing there, even if that's all it is, if they're just friends, you have to maybe not the NCAA, maybe the SEC, maybe Greg Sankey should have something in play where like, all right, we're getting a lot of guys going to one school from one school, from that school to the exact same schools where they're transferring to. That is weird. We do need to look into that. That's all I'm saying. Sure, they could text each other, whatever. I'm sure they're friends. But you're telling me there's not another school that could offer them as much or more? I mean, I know Ole Miss, their rumor is they have a lot of money. I don't know, man. You've got these agents that get involved who are not, by the way, they're not, these are not like certified agents. Like I think the NFLPA, you have to have like some kind of certification to be an agent with the NFLPA. You don't have to have that with college. It could quite literally be Uncle Stingray. That's your agent. Sam chose to give Kudus the red shirt and in exchange got the max 4 games out of him. Sam didn't think love for hogs meant extra dollars to keep. Wipe dust off our feet and move on. Either good for money or not. Mello, you don't listen. At the end of the day, yeah, you went 6-6 and you could upgrade, right? You could, and you're not wrong in saying that some of these guys, listen, my heart is not broken over the vast majority of the guys that hit the portal. But that doesn't mean everyone should go. That's wild. That doesn't mean that everyone on the team is trash. Wipe them all out. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Unless you're going to grab a whole bunch of guys that played together from another school, the way Ole Miss is doing that with Arkansas, good luck. No, you want to keep – continuity does matter. Despite there being this weird thing about how continuity doesn't mean as much as we think it does. It absolutely does, especially when you play in a Bobby Petrino offense. Don't get me wrong. If you can go out and get someone who's twice as talented, you will probably replace that guy that was there a year ago for sure. But I don't know, man. I'm not on that whole like anybody can go, just leave. I want Braylon Russell back, right? You should want Braylon Russell back. Luke has. I know he had beef with Petrino and the way that offense functioned without targeting him more and without him, the offense being more designed, more favorable to tight ends. That's fair. But, like, that's not someone I want to leave. Right? Am I crazy for thinking that? So, no, I didn't want Pooh-Paul to leave last year. I don't want Braxton. I don't want those guys to leave. Some of the other linebackers, right? These are guys that you want to stay, develop, and make better while they're here, hoping that they'll stay here. You don't want to do this thing where it's a revolving door every single year, even though that's what college football has become. We don't want other hogs getting after. Wait, we don't want other hogs getting hogs after red shirt. Then we need to keep mouth shut if we pick up any red shirt ourselves. Don't hate the players, hate the NCAA for not regulating the process. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And again, there is the question of how much can the NCAA really do? How much can the NCAA really do at the end of the day? How much can they do? They open up Pandora's box. Difficult to shut it. Brandon Hall says Luke was a good tight end, but his weaknesses was his blocking. I don't remember looking at his allowed sacks, allowed pressure numbers on PFF, which does a really good job. I don't care about – the grades are – don't get me wrong. Grades are also – they can be important, but oh, that's a rushing stat. Luke has, out of 271 block attempts – he gave up 0 sacks, 0 hits, 1 hurry. So, I don't know. Again, he's typically a tight end's going to help. He's going to double team. It's not real often unless you're dealing with an outside edge, like an off-ball linebacker who's playing way outside the tackle. If your job is to pick him up, you're not going to see that. They're going to get a lot of double team help. But, his pass block grade is 68.5. So, I don't know that I would agree that his blocking was the problem. I just think that at the end of the day, Petrino did not circle this offense around tight ends. And it makes you wonder, too, like, how good is Luke has really? We're in love with those 4 stars out of high school, right? Oh, those stars. Sometimes you just don't live up to the potential. Sometimes your quarterback looks downfield, and isn't looking for those check down throws, those underneath routes, the drag routes, the hitches, the inside routes, the slant route. They're not looking for that. There's just some quarterbacks that like to throw beyond that first level of throwing the ball in the passing game, and I think that is Green, whether you have problems with Green or not. I think Luke has potential to be really good. Same with Kudus, same with Braxton, same with a couple of those guys. But, yeah, numbers don't really indicate, and I don't ever really remember watching him block and think he was a problem. Not that he never got beat, right? I'm sure he did. Keyshawn Blackstock, just to give you a little help here, his pass block grade was 45.6. That man gave up 21 hurries. Addison Nichols played the center, 11 hurries, 2 sacks. Yeah, some of these guys, I'm okay with them moving on. I'll just say it. Oh, Tennessee was getting the biz from Illinois. Were they really? All right. Well, I'm going to put an end to it because I want to watch. Is that game over? Tell me that game's not over. It started a little bit after ours, right? Okay, no. It just started a little while ago. So they're up 31-30 on Illinois. That's at Illinois, by the way, right? Or is that a neutral floor? I feel like that's at what are they playing? The State Farm, right? Isn't that the arena they play in? Yeah, I'm going to go watch that. All right, that is going to do it. We're going to keep adding on to that Patreon list, the portal target list. We're going to keep an eye on that. Good win by Arkansas. I don't care who the hell they play, man. I don't care. I mean, I know it's going to be easy to, they played UCA. Cool. They still did a lot of things. It doesn't matter who the opponent is that stood out tonight. And again, that ball movement, fantastic. I wonder if Cal has somebody on his staff. I'm sure he does. Has somebody keeping count of passes. His shooter shot tonight. Still not blown away with Nelly yet. 11 points a night would not be enough to really move the needle for me on him, especially with how highly he was regarded. It is rumored he got paid quite a bit of money. I don't know if that's true. Don't go tagging the kid. Don't go name calling. Don't go after, But I just wonder, 4 of 7's not bad. Okay, 50% outside shooting off 6 attempts is not bad. That's actually really good. But the overall production on the offensive end of the floor, it just to me feels like, and I'll say it again, square peg, round hole. I hope he figures it out, and if we could get that number up to about 15 points a night, I could live with that. As so long as he's knocking down some threes, I could live with that. If he's helping present some kind of outside threat, which you're going to need in this league. You're going to need in this league the ability, especially these teams like to play that stretch zone, or they want to play with a little bit of up-tempo, full-court press. You're going to need to have the ability to catch and shoot outside, to cut underneath and open up those backdoor cutters, the off-ball screens. Like, this all has to work. And in order to do that, you need someone with that outside presence. And Boogie Fland, certainly could do that. DJ Wagner, 3 of 4 tonight. Carter Knox with 50% outside. By the way, he was 3 for 3 at the line. Brazil is capable of knocking those down, and we know Big Z is as well. So it's not as if Nelly, if he doesn't, you're in trouble. I'm not saying that. But he's supposed to be a high volume in terms of production on the offensive end of the floor, and especially have that ability as a guard, to go out, catch and shoot, knock down the three. Now, if you give him time, you let him go through his setup. If it's a uncontested three, I feel like his odds are, typically, right? This is just true for most players. He's going to knock those down. It feels like. So far, I've not been in love with the rest of his game on the offensive end of the floor. He's not someone I expect to run up and down the floor extremely fast and get some easy buckets with a quick little finger layup, whatever. It's just not his game. Again, I'll just be real. I'm not that impressed with Nelly so far. Maybe again, he's still kind of dealing with the wrist. Maybe that's still kind of there and we're not talking about. Maybe there's more to the story and he'll warm up the way that some of these other guys have, right? If he does and he comes close, even, 60% of the production he was able to do at FAU, oh boy, the SEC's in for a hoot, especially with all these other threats you have outside. All right, that's going to do it. I appreciate you guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back next week. Yeah, that's it. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you probably on Monday. All right? Okay. You be good. Behave. Tell your Graham I said hello. I'll see you on the next one.